Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Victory Sunday night. Browns getting a win with a rookie quarterback making his first start since, 1995? We had 1995. Been 0-17 until since then. A rookie making his first start, and we did it against the Raiders, a team that I went out there last year and we got boat raced by a bad Raiders team. So just a good win for the Browns. Every win with this roster this season is a good win. So I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Shedeur's first start. We want to talk about everything that we saw from him today. The defense was incredible. Myles Garrett, again, I think he ended up with 3 sacks. He's at 18. Knock on wood, barring injury, it might obliterate the sack record this year.
Very possible. That's already a new career single season high for him.
So, and we're going to talk about all of this stuff because the Myles stuff, you kind of have to look for things like that in a season where it's a lost season. You're not going to make the postseason. Those are the things you can go out and try to play for. And he's on a tear. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. I mean, he got 12 sacks now or 13 sacks in the last 4 games.
Yeah, I think so.
It's incredible what he's doing. So we got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. Just as a reminder, later I want to talk about Gage Larvidan again. So just a lot of good stuff today. We appreciate everybody who's here in the chat already. Expect this to be a good episode. We have a ton of voicemails to get to today. Again, we haven't screened them just like last week, being the late finish, having to prep everything for this episode. Didn't get to screen the voicemails, so we're just going to be going speed rush through them in the second half of this episode. If you ever want to get thoughts and interests on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I believe we just eclipsed 15,000 followers on here. We went from 14K to 15K real fast. So we appreciate everybody who's been tuning in the last month and subscribing. It helps us out a ton. You can become a YouTube member for 99 cents if that's something you guys are interested in. But we're just extremely grateful for everybody who's been supporting the show, especially recently. It's been great. If you want to find us on any of the social media pages, just search at the Dogs Podcast, and you can also just listen to the show on Apple or Spotify. And lastly, if you want more Dogs content, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord, play fantasy football with us. One of our Dog Pack members, Ashton, was on TV today. He was at the game. I don't know if you saw that, Josh, but
I didn't see it. I missed it.
Yes, he was on TV. He sent the screenshot. Some of his buddies must have sent him. I was out there last year. Kenny Mack was out there for the last 4 or 5 days, just doing a bunch of Browns backers stuff. So the Dog Pat's where it's at, guys. And we've added some new members lately. We even got some young kids in there. I was kind of razzing today. He's a big Shedeur fan. So it makes me feel like a grandpa because this kid's 19. And I'm like, how old is this kid? 10? Nope, he's 19. He's a full-fledged adult. I'm just I'm a boomer apparently. So, but we got a wide range of ages. We got men, we got women in there. So if you want to hang out with like-minded Browns fans from all over the world, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member.
And use code Black Friday right now up until next Sunday, and you guys get 10% off your first month or your first annual subscription.
Oh, that's a good deal. And lastly, before we go any further, it is still November. Make sure you guys donate to Kenny Mack's Movember campaign. We'll be sure if somebody wants to post the link in the chat, that'd be great. We'll make sure we have it in our video links and stuff like that going forward this week. But let's help Kenny Mack get his goal. Donate to his campaign for men's mental health and cancer awareness. It's a great cause. So again, Kenny Mack's Movember campaign, please go donate to that. So let's jump right in here. Good stuff today. Browns win a game 24-10. One of the first times all season, maybe this in the Miami game, that the Browns scored all their points unaided by the defense. I know we were given one short field after a great punt return by Gage Larvidan, but the offense, especially in the first half, the offense looked serviceable. The second half, man, before that Samson touchdown, I was like, Jesus, this is freaking unwatchable. This is both just terrible teams. And it wasn't because of the quarterback play in the second half. It was just because we just don't have a good offense. Mm-mm. And so just kind of, I guess, getting to – that's what everybody's here to talk about tonight. I thought Shedeur did everything you wanted him to do. I said coming into this game, I don't even care what his stats are. I just care kind of how he looks. Is he drifting every single play? Does he take a ton of sacks? Does he just keep putting the ball in harm's way? Outside of, I could think of 2 plays. He threw a bad interception where the defensive end dropped it. He didn't see him. First start in his career, only a week of preparing like the starter. I don't want to excuse turnovers, but there's some things that mistakes rookie quarterbacks will make that you can at least be like, okay, I understand. If he still makes that mistake 6, 7, 8 starts down the road, maybe it's something to be concerned about. In his first start, in his first half, it's one of those things like it kind of is what it is. It sucks, but you live with it. And then the only other really bad pass was the one where he's drifting back, and he throws it to Dylan Sampson, kind of gets him killed. We ended up getting 15 yards out of it because Jamal Adams suplexed him after the whistle. So, but really off the top of my head, that's the 2 like really bad plays. And then other than that, he took care of the ball. A little bit of some illegal formation stuff today that we haven't seen with the other 2 quarterbacks. Again, it's his first week preparing with any of these guys and getting practice reps. Yeah, so it's not totally unexpected to get some illegal formation, illegal motion, procedure penalties and stuff like that. And even that, we were still way less than penalty-wise, especially yards, than what the Raiders were today. So I thought he did that throw to Isaiah Bond.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel, goodness.
I watched that throw and said, I've seen enough. It doesn't even matter what happens the rest of the game. I've seen enough because Dylan Gabriel wouldn't have attempted that throw.
And he wouldn't have been able to make it if he did.
He wouldn't have completed it. It would have been a punt. That ball was in the air 50 yards.
Yeah.
That
was a strike. A strike.
Yes. He's drifting right. He's got a little bit of pressure. He feels it. He's rolling out right. He puts it right on the money. So that pass, I think a play that's going super far under the radar that I thought was great by him, but it was obviously outstanding by Harold Fannin. It was like 3rd and 15 or something. We're backed up, and he didn't roll back and try to run around and make a play. He hung tight in that pocket till the very last second when Fannin kind of released and was able to put enough touch over it to get it over the line. And then Harold Fannin did the rest. It was a great play by Fannin, but he never even gets the opportunity to make that play. If Shedeur doesn't stand in the pocket, stand tall, wait, and put enough touch on it, get it over the defensive line and give an opportunity to make a play. That's another play that wouldn't have happened if Dylan Gabriel's court. He was not tall enough. He wouldn't hang in the pocket like that. That's a play that would not have happened if Dylan Gabriel was playing quarterback. So even though like the final numbers, I think he was 11 of 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Like the numbers aren't going to blow you away. Only, like a 51% completion percentage. But if you watch that game, you went, okay, I think there's something here. There's at least something here that it's worth seeing the next week and the week after and the week. You know what I mean? So I was extremely happy with the way Shedeur played today, even if it didn't just jump off the stat sheet at me. And I just thought there were so many hidden things that he did well that allowed us to finally get to the 24 points. Like we don't get to to 24 points with Dylan Gabriel playing. Well, one, I know like a lot of people was on his touchdown pass, this is a 60-yard touchdown pass, and he threw it 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage to Dylan Sampson. And everybody's like, Dylan Sampson did all that work. I watched Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 8 feet out of bounds on that play.
Yeah, over the guy's head.
The guy's head. You know what I mean? So like even though you can say, Dylan, all it was a quick screen, I watched our other quarterback stop and throw that ball 10 feet over the receiver's head out of bounds on a play that should have been. Those are hidden points. Well, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's just one bad throw. No, it's potentially 7 points. The
52-yard pass down the field to Isaiah Bond that we already talked about, that was like a yard or two away from being a touchdown. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, so Dylan Sampson, yeah, sure, he got the 66 yards on that touchdown, but the other throw that Shedeur did not get a touchdown was damn near a touchdown. Then they take him out, and bring in Quinshawn to punch it in out of the Wildcat. But, the other 2 throws that I wanted to bring up too, you talked about that hand and throw where he just kind of waited and then floated it up over the line. There was no chance that a lineman was knocking that pass down. It was getting out, and he led Fannin. He didn't throw it behind him or make him wait. Fannin actually had to reach out and extend to make that catch. And I don't think he was prepared to be led on a pass. We saw some other things from receivers where I don't think they were prepared based on what they've experienced with Dillon Gabriel for the things that Shedeur was going to do. And then there was one other, and I forget who it was, if it was Bond or whoever, they were running a screen out to the right side, and he turned and threw the ball, and it was another one where he floated it up over a defender. And the guys on the broadcast were like, oh, that was kind of a dangerous throw. I'm like, no. Actually, he threw it so high over them that there was no way. It was such a touch pass. I'm like, man, it's so nice to see a quarterback with a little touch.
Yes, and we haven't even talked about the play to Jerry Jeudy. Waiting. Like he had, and when I'm saying waiting, it's not like he was holding the ball too long on these plays. He's slowly not drifting backwards. He's slowly drifting to his right, giving himself a little bit of time for the play to develop.
Evading the pressure.
Yes, and then he hits Jerry Jeudy right on the money. And Jerry Jeudy, just get off my football team, man.
Oh my gosh, that guy.
That killed momentum, because that's another big play for Shedeur under his belt. He's got maybe a little bit of rhythm going. We've got the ball down now, inside the 35 or wherever it was. We're looking to go score again before the half. And then did he forget he was on a football field?
I don't know what he was doing.
I had no idea what he was doing. He had to know that somebody was behind him. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, I have no idea what he was trying to do. And he was so nonchalant about it. And like the guy came up and hit the ball out. I could just see it coming. He's taking this big hop. This guy's coming over his shoulder. And then after, the ball gets knocked out, and he's like, oh my God, there's other people on this field besides me and the one guy who's in front of me. That's crazy. And there's just few Browns players in my life that I can think of that I'm just not a fan of. Jerry Jeudy's up there in terms of guys I just not a fan of right now, because it's just bad.
Before he went on his tear last year with Jameis Winston, I remember coming on this show, and I feel like I took heat from some people and other people agreed, but either way, I was upset with the way Jerry Jeudy handled himself during the Bengals game at home. When he didn't have a target until the fourth quarter, he was on the sideline throwing his helmet, pouting on the bench and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, come on. You're supposed to be our wide receiver one. Come on. And then the first pass he gets targeted in the fourth quarter hits him right in the chest, and he dropped it. I'm like, dude. And then he went on his tear, and it's like, okay, maybe we have something with Jerry. We don't have anything with Jerry Jeudy. We don't have anything.
No, he is what he is. He got a bunch of garbage yards last year in a 6-game stretch with Jameis Winston, and that's literally been his career. It's awful. We have a super chat here I want to get to. We don't want to miss these. We appreciate the super chats, guys. Nicole Marie 834 says, what would our record be if Shedeur got the first team reps in training camp and became the starter after Flacco got traded? Who knows? Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Shedeur. The Raiders are the worst team in football.
Well, so are the Jets.
So are the Jets. And the Jets are very bad, but they're at least playing people competitive. They just played the Ravens competitive today. The Raiders are so bad.
They're terrible.
I watched them against the Cowboys as the first time I've actually got to watch them this year on Monday night, and I was like, this is the worst team in football. It's not the Browns. The Browns might find new and creative ways to lose, and I was saying the Raiders are way worse than the Browns. That doesn't mean we'll win, but they're way worse than us. And they showed it today. They gave up 10 sacks. They're as bad as our offense is, and as much as we hate our offense, they're statistically worse.
Yeah, they are.
They are statistically worse than us on offense, and their defense is almost as bad as their offense. At least we have a defense to hang our hat on, so that they're so bad. So I'm not going to, I don't want to take anything away from Shedeur. Dillon Gabriel did come into an incredibly tough stretch, but do we beat the Vikings? Possibly. Do we beat the Jets?
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? It's hard to speculate, but I do know you can't go back to Dillon Gabriel now at this point. It's got to be Shedeur.
Well, and obviously Kevin was asked about that after the game in his press conference, and he was non-committal. Said, obviously I got to go, whatever, watch the tape, and I'm just focused on the win right now or whatever. He would not say whether or not they're going back to Dillon or sticking with Shedeur, but with Shedeur, there's actually, I was talking to somebody in the chat before the show. I said on 3rd and 9, I no longer feel like they might as well just go punt. Because when Dylan Gabriel was playing quarterback, if it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, like it is most times for the Browns offense, might as well just punt. We're not picking it up. With Shedeur, it was different today. I'm like, well, actually, maybe we will. There's a chance.
Well, and here's the thing. Another like one of those hidden things within the game with Shedeur, the screen pass to Sampson that he scores the touchdown on. We're able to like get blockers downfield and stuff because they're not just selling out. They're not the defense isn't shrunk within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage because Shedeur's thrown it deep a couple times. He's burned them a couple times on deep passes. So they got to play a more, a smarter defense. They can't sell out to stop one thing. It allows us then to get blockers in better positions, block it up perfectly, and Sampson doesn't get touched. If Dylan Gabriel's in the game, I'm not going to sit here and say like it's not a touchdown. Maybe it would be. But again, first of all, I'm not convinced he can complete that pass because I watched him try it once and he threw it 10 feet over the guy's head. And then two, like that defense now on 3rd down in that situation, they're thinking, I got to defend a draw play, a counter play. I can't remember if we were empty or not, so maybe not. But I'm just being hypothetical. They might go deep. There could be a screen. If Dylan Gabriel's a quarterback in there, they're going, this is a screen pass.
Yep.
You know what I mean? This is a screen pass or this is a 5-yard hitch. There is no deep threat. I can sit on every single route. If I see Sampson turn around, I can just fly because he's not going to throw it deep. So it's just little things like that. Having Shedeur in the game opens up some more of the offense. The offense was still bad, still hard to watch at times, but we scored 24 points. If we could score 24 points every game with this defense, we'd have a lot more wins.
We would. Yes, that is for sure. We had a couple other super chats. Jay Will says the FBI needs to investigate Jeudy. He had to be shaving points or he took the under. That play is so stupid. Like that was. I'm like, what a blunder. That's the kind of play. You're obviously not going to cut him because he's technically your number one receiver. But like we just watched the Cowboys sit 2 of their receivers on at least the first drive, just do something because oh my God. Just makes me freaking sick. And then Young Among.
You were reading the next one?
Yeah, he says, why did Kevin pull Sanders after the Bond play in the red zone? That was one of his specialties. Also, the 4th and 2 in the Raiders 30 not going for it blew my mind. I was kind of surprised they didn't go for it or kick the field goal. Like, you have a chance to add a 3rd score, to your lead. It was kind of weird. Even the announcers were like, I've never seen anybody punt it from the 30.
It was the 29. And I'll be honest, maybe I'm stupid. I didn't know you were allowed to punt it from inside the 30. I just kind of thought like that was I thought that was an official rule, and I guess maybe it's just kind of always been like an unofficial rule. But
just because nobody does it, you kick the field goal there.
The only thing I can think is he was like, listen, if I just tell Corey to we're not trying to like town it at the 1. If I just tell him to just kick it out of bounds at the 10, they won't go down and score. There's zero chance the Raiders can go down and score. And who knows, maybe if I get a blocked field goal or miss it and give them a little bit of breathing room. We watched us lose to the Jets 2-3 years ago in a similar situation. I would have kicked the field goal, but the way the defense was playing, he's just saying, we're just going to put it in their hands and just get out of here with a win. I don't have a problem going to the Wildcat down there because Judkins is arguably your best offensive player, and it worked.
Yeah.
Twice. And I thought the Browns did a good job. Like, Shedeur only threw the ball 20 times, and obviously he was playing with a lead for basically the entire game. But I thought they did a good job of just not putting him in harm's way. If you can win this game without asking him to throw the ball 35 times and put him in dangerous situations and chances that he could turn the ball, it was his first start. You know what I mean? So like now, hopefully we're sticking with him. Next game, you give him a little bit more. And then the 3rd game, you give him a little bit more. And then a month in, maybe he's not coming out in those situations. But I didn't have a problem with them kind of coaching safe with him in his first start in which we talked about. He had 3 practices. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with that. Protect your guy a little bit. He's a guy that, a lot of people think that the Browns don't like him, but they drafted him. They're giving him extra time. Kevin supposedly watches extra film with him every day. They want him to succeed. Nobody should want him to succeed more than the Browns because we need a freaking quarterback. So I didn't have a problem with them being cautious. If you can go win the game, put the ball in the hands of your best player and still get touchdowns, I was fine with it.
But all right, so is it just me, and you guys in the chat chime in too, but Do you have an issue with them running the Wildcat all over the field? Because whenever they come out in Wildcat and we're on our own 20-yard line, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, there's no threat here. We know what we're going to do.
The only thing I can think is like maybe they have more off of it and they're putting it out there on tape. And
maybe
like, as we, you know what I mean? Because it's a different play caller now for the last 2 weeks. So maybe like they're putting it out there and then we'll be able to do a wrinkle off of it at some point. But I was just, at least for fantasy purposes, I was happy to see Judkins get 2 touchdowns today. And I just want to give a shout out real quick to everybody who's here. This is without a doubt the most concurrent viewers we've ever had for a live. So everybody who's in here right now, thank you guys so much. I'm going to get stage fright sitting up here in front of over 1,100 people watching me live. This is insane. So we appreciate everybody who's tuning in right now to watch this live.
Yeah. So real quick, I wanted to make this point. So what we saw today was obviously Shedeur Sanders' first start. That was after just 3 practices with the first team. Those are the only 3 practices with the first team that he has gotten, as far as we've been told, since he was drafted. Okay. And I was impressed with how much better he looked on several plays than Dillon Gabriel. And Gabriel's the one who was handed first team reps back in May. And he had those opportunities to work with the first team, to get those reps, to get that experience. And he had 4.5 starts under his belt already. And at no point in any of those games did Dillon Gabriel show anything close to what I saw from Shedeur Sanders today.
I can confidently say that if Dillon Gabriel starts this game, we don't score 24 points.
I think that's fair.
We probably still win because they could not do anything, but we probably win like 13-3 or something. We have a couple more super chats, 13-3, 13-10. We had one, I don't want to miss it, from T-Ray. This is obviously only one game, but if Shedeur can show he's the guy, we have 2 first-round picks in 2026. Your thoughts? If Shedeur, if we stick with him and we see enough out of him to make it for us to believe he's the guy, which I thought today was a very good showing for that. If he can build on that for 6 more games, I don't think there's any reason to believe like that we shouldn't at least give him an off season of first team being the starter for an off season, preparing that way and coming in next year. I am bolstering the offensive line in free agency as much as possible and getting 2 wide receivers in the first round.
Yes. That's where I'm at right now.
That's where I'm at. And then with an early second round pick, if depending on what you can do in free agency with an early second round pick, hell, I'd even almost go a 3rd wide receiver, or then you can go a tackle, one of these offensive tackles. We need to add athleticism and speed and weapons to this offense in a bad way.
Yeah. And so again, being the afternoon slated game, I was able to watch Red Zone for the 1:00 games today, and I watched a lot of Cam Ward. And if you remember back in the pre-draft process, it was Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders were the top 2 quarterbacks in every conversation, and that was, they were the guys. So I'm doing a lot of comparing those 2 when I'm watching, even though Shedeur was taken in the 5th round and all that crap. He was projected, and all the analysts had him as a first-round guy, and it was him and Cam Ward. And I'm watching Cam Ward and I'm watching Shedeur, and they both do the same things where they both have moments where they make throws that make you go, oh, that's why the team took that guy. That's why the team's playing that guy. And then they both have moments where it's like, he's a rookie mistake. A couple years in, he's not doing that again. Those kind of mistakes. And I saw the same things with Cam Ward, and I've seen that with Cam Ward since week 1. He started all season. This was only 1 start for Shedeur. I was very encouraged again. I get it. I know Raiders, they suck. But you still got to come out and be able to do these things they're all professional football players on the other side of the ball, whether it's a good defense or not. And it's his first start in this league. It was just encouraging, because if we can use those two first round picks next year on other premium positions that we clearly don't have, that is just more power to the Browns, because using another one on a quarterback means resetting again, means another bumpy year with a rookie quarterback, up and downs. I'd rather get those out of the way now.
I said before the game what I wanted to see from him was I didn't care about the number, even if his numbers looked similar to like a Baker Mayfield first start, which I believe his first start was also against the Raiders. He should have won that game. Refs screwed us. I don't know if you guys remember that. But like around like a 50% completion percentage, couple hundred yards. I think he had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Shedeur had
Right.
the 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But you in that game, if you watched it, you were Baker Mayfield like moved the offense, and he did things where you were like, "Oh man, this guy's making throws. We might have something here." It's kind of like the same vibe I got today. Like it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. There was times in this game where I was like, "This offense is putrid," but I look up and he made a handful of good throws. We have 24 points, and we won the game. And that's just more than I can say from any of the quarterbacks who've played so far for us this year. We have another super chat from America Joe, Dog Pack member. Thank you so much. You don't have to give us this much money. We appreciate it. He says the Dogs podcast has grown so much since I first joined years ago. Over 1,000 live viewers. I love listening to you guys' takes and agree for the most part. Can you argue again like you did before? Those were funny. Josh, the sky is green.
Well, I mean,
EJ says it's all because of short. Don't be a negative Nancy, man.
Our arguing is the reason why Justin Charles isn't on the show anymore. We scared him.
We scared him. Justin
I'm just
doesn't like
kidding.
confrontation.
No, he does not. It makes him very nervous.
We know that people are excited because Shedeur played the game. We're not stupid. Like, we're not that cool, but like, don't be mean about it. But why don't we do a quick commercial so then we can come out and start knocking out some of the, we talk defense and then get to some of these voicemails.
Let's do it. This episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Browns fans, do you ever feel stuck in your current job? Like if you just had a different degree or some more education in a certain area, you could do something you really want to do. Well, Southern New Hampshire University has the answers for you. Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your new career today. SNHU is one of the largest online accredited universities in the United States, and it's radically affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your degree for your new career, 100% online and 100% on your time. snhu.edu/bark.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, Alumiguard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
All right, welcome back. We appreciate all of you guys here. We dipped all the way down under 1,000. Let's just shut it down.
Hey, can I talk about this poll real quick? You guys, thank you so much for voting on the polls when we put them in here in the chat. 1,165 votes in this poll. And I just said, should we keep Shedeur as the starter and go back to Dylan? And 95% say Shedeur and 5% say Dylan. So I'm waiting to see who the 5%ers are who want to see Dylan.
Yes. Kevin says, in all seriousness, where's Justin been? Feel like I haven't seen or heard from him in a while. Justin's wife broke her ankle and is laid up and not very mobile. So Justin's full-time dadding it, doing bedtime. So these nighttime episodes are super tough for Justin because he's got 2 young ones. He's got to get into bed and ready and all that good stuff. So he'll be back with us once his wife is on the mend. So we've been holding down the fort for him. But this, before we get to voicemails, because I'm sure most of the voicemails are about the offense, we got to touch on this defense.
Oh,
we were all worried about how they would look going on the road. They put maybe the first drive, like the first 3 plays, they're like, oh, come on, we're not getting any pressure. They got a first down. We suck. And then after that, it was just lights out. 10 sacks. I think Myles had 3 of them. We talked about this in the open a little bit. Myles Garrett's on his way to obliterating the single season sack record. I mean, I think somebody said he's on pace for 26.
man.
Just he's unblockable. And like, I know we've talked a lot about the draft class and stuff like that, and we wanted to go offense, but the addition of a Mason Graham and a Malik Collins, you're seeing Myles be able to do this because the interior of our defensive line is so much better. It's just, those guys are making Myles Garrett's job so much easier.
The one sack where they went back on the replay and showed how I think it was Graham and Collins. I forget, it was their 2 DTs just bull rushed the interior offensive lineman and just threw him on the ground. pushed Geno back right into Miles. And it's like, that is exactly why the Browns did what they did. And it was a little bit of a slow start, I think, for Mason Graham, but he has really come on here in the last month or so and shown why he was a top 5 pick, why he was the number 1 rated DT in the class. And that's just a position that takes a little longer to acclimate from college to the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. That's just historically the way it is, but he is definitely coming on strong.
Another play that stuck out to me today from Carson Schwarzenegger. It's like every game I watch, it's just Carson is a beast. But we just watched a play where Ashton Genty ran right through, I think it was Ronnie Hickman. And then like the very next play, Carson just stonewalls him in the hole for like a 2-yard gain, just doesn't give an inch to this guy. That's a big dude. He does that too, a freak athlete, and he just stones him. And I also Carson is freaking awesome.
The play where Genty was getting tackled and then Mason Graham came in and just finished him, just laid him out. It's like, ooh, he's got some dog in him. I like it. But here, we got a couple super chats real fast. This one's from BUTV Worldwide, says Jeudy needs to sit down, kill the attitude, and play football like go-to starter. He's not looking like a leader or a first option. That's because he is neither of those things. And then the next super chat says, also another thing, if Shedeur is the answer, then at some point we need to take a step back and look at the 2025 draft class. AB did his job. I'll give you that. If we got the quarterback in the 5th round, I'll give you that.
Yes, and I mean, almost all the picks have been great. There's a little bit of a microscope on it because of how deficient we are on offense this year. Right. But I mean, I don't think any of the players that he picked have been bad.
No, it's just the fact that you took 2 quarterbacks, and if one of them is the guy, the other one clearly is not.
Yes. So, but in their defense, I wanted us to draft 7 quarterbacks. So, so it's not too far off. So another thing, I kind of looked a little bit like Nostradamus. I sat on this episode a week ago and said, I think Gage Larvadan has turned out to be a really good punt returner for us. He makes smart decisions. He catches the ball. He's never negative. He's always neutral or a plus back there. And then today he sets us up for the first touchdown with a great punt return. It's like the first time since Kevin's been here that I'm not worried about the punt return. For a while it was DPJ. That was an adventure. Like, we have not been able to find anybody who can consistently A, catch the ball, or B, make right decisions when to catch the ball, when to let it go, that kind of stuff. So I think Gage has been huge for the punt return game. Like, he's been great. He's earning like a contract, an extension in terms of like he's going to be on this team for multiple years just because he can be a good punt returner for us.
And then I think, just with more experience, obviously, but he's already shown he can come in and play the wide receiver position too when you need him. But it's nice when he's your wide receiver 5, yes. And you're not rolling him out there at the end of the game trying to get a touchdown against the Ravens late. You don't have anybody else.
Yes. Another thing I wanted, Andre Schmidt with another long field goal made.
53.
He's been great. He really has been great this season. Like, and we would almost ran him off after week 1.
Now, the thing I will tell the Browns, don't sign this guy to a huge, record-setting kicker contract after the season. Let's let him do it 2 years in a row, maybe.
Yes, totally agree. But
it's been a damn good year for him.
Yes, he's been very good this year. So, one more guy on defense before we get to Grant Delpit. We talked about this last week. He's playing Pro Bowl level. He might be a Pro Bowler. And Denzel Ward was great today again. And then we spent so much time talking the offense. Campbell has been great for the Browns since the trade.
Yes, I like him a lot.
I like his game. He's physical. He's big. He gets to the ball. He tackles. Like, I like him a lot. He's been and he's only been here a few weeks. Mm-hmm. He's not even fully acclimated. Like, he's been outstanding.
And somebody in the chat, fill me in on what happened today. I was seeing some posts right when I was getting the show ready before this. Did Greg Newsome not play for the Jaguars today? Was he I
thought he got hurt.
Did he get hurt? Okay, I didn't know if he got hurt or if they just had him off the field because he wasn't playing well. But either way, Tyson Campbell has definitely been a plus addition. And then I am still loving what I see from Devin Bush every week.
I was just about to say his name. That sack he had.
Yep. Just annihilated Geno Smith.
you got to be an athlete to get there too, because that was a delayed blitz. Like he waited, kind of sold like he was going to drop, and then you got to be on your horse to get there still. And he just, oh my God, decapitated him. He's been great. You can't say like some of these guys on our defense. I don't think Devin Bush will be a Pro Bowler, but the Browns, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, Carson Schweschinger, and Grant Delpit, to me, that's 4 Pro Bowlers from this defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And I do think Devin Bush is like worthy of it, but I don't think he'll have the numbers and all that kind of stuff to really qualify for Pro Bowl, but I don't care. I'm so glad they brought him back, and I really hope they get him back on an extension again for next year. And I'd sign him to a 2-year extension this time, because he proved it last year. And then this year, he's just followed it up with like, this is why he was drafted in the first round. And he is now being the player that he was drafted to be. It's just awesome that he's doing it for us.
Yep. So let's get to some of these voicemails now. Again, if you want to get voicemails on the show, just head to thedogspodcast.com. Just tap the little drop-down menu in the right-hand corner. Okay.
And again, we did not screen these like we normally do. So we have no idea what we're getting into. First one's from social worker Josh.
Hey, Dogs Podcast. I don't know if it's just me. Social worker Josh here from Portland, Oregon. But I feel like I'm living a dream. Holy God, did I just see Sanders throw a 40-plus yard pass? And then we go in for our second Wildcat score of the game? I mean, we're almost through the first quarter here, and I feel like I'm living in a different world. Where am I?
Okay, that's the end of that one. I'm with you, man.
I love getting these I love getting these in-game voicemails, by the way. They're awesome.
It is cool because you can hear what everybody's thinking in the heat of the moment there. All right, well, fill the silence for a second. I don't have them all queued up yet.
That's kind of how I felt, by the way, when he makes the deep pass. My dad texted me and was like, I don't think Dylan Gabriel could make that pass. And I said, he wouldn't attempt that pass.
No.
That's the difference. That pass never would have been attempted.
Nope, wouldn't have even been considered. I mean, and that's, we've talked about it, I've heard other people talk about it, like when they watch the film, that Isaiah Bond is open. Isaiah Bond is beating people deep. He's getting open, but there's just no shots taking him down the field. Well, we saw that change today. You got something in the chat, or you want me to play this next one?
Go ahead.
All right, this one's from Tori.
Hey guys, it's Tori from Boston. Just watched Myles Garrett, the strip sack to secure the win. Haven't left a voicemail on the show. Love what you guys do, but only would have contributed sadness by leaving a voicemail with the performances of Dylan Gabriel just throwing dirt balls. But man, Shedeur Sanders, he brought the juice today. It wasn't the best game, but he made some throws today that Gabriel hasn't made all season. I'm making the trip out from Boston to see him play next week. I swear to God, if Stefanski brings out Dylan Gabriel to play the 49ers, I'm going to lose my mind. Wear a paper bag at the stadium. So pumped about this win. Hopefully we can build on it. Go Browns. Woof, woof.
Love it.
He's in enemy territory up there in Boston, being a Browns fan.
Right.
No, I'm dreading about hearing going back to Dylan Gabriel. Here's my thing with that. I think if you go back to Dylan Gabriel, locker room will be lost.
I think so.
It'll be lost. You saw the defense for the first time in 3 years. The defense played with energy on the road. Okay,
yeah.
They knew they had a chance to win the game. Receivers caught passes today. Like it just. If you go back to him, there's no way you can go back and say this guy gives us the best chance to win, because even though Dylan played some tough teams, they both got to play. We got to play the second and third worst teams in the league. One with Dylan and one with Shedeur, and one we won the game, and the other one we lost.
Yep, absolutely. And then did you see Myles Garrett's reaction on the sideline? They showed it after Shedeur made that 52-yard strike down the field to Bond.
I did not.
He turned around to Isaiah McGuire, and I posted it on our social media, so go take a look. His face was like, oh my gosh, did he really just throw that? I mean, you could just see in his face. He was like, oh man, that's how we all looked watching that.
And guys, this was start one on 3 days of actual practice. He's been practicing all season. I get it, but this is the first time he got to operate like a starter in practice. and have a game plan for him.
And I think so. That's a really good point. So we've already talked about that, but to lead into what I want to say here, like you're right. It's only been 3 practices that he's gotten to actually operate as the starter. And he is the first Brown starter, we've already said this, since 1995 to win his first ever NFL start for the Browns. Browns quarterbacks since the team came back in 1999 were 0-17. Think about that. 17 opportunities for a quarterback to get their first start in the NFL for the Browns over the last however many years that is, since 1999, and not a single one of them has led their team to a victory in that game. This is a big deal. Like, I know people will say, oh, it's just the Raiders, or, he didn't have the biggest stat line or whatever. This is a big deal for Browns
We're
fans.
just the Browns. Like, you can't say it's just the Raiders.
That's true.
We're just the Browns. We also only had 2 wins coming into today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't say, well, all they beat was the Raiders. Well, all we are is the Browns.
Yeah.
A 3-win football team now.
100%. All right, next voicemail here is from Jack.
It's Jack from Bolivar. Boy, what an improvement. Shedeur is running left and right this week instead of backwards. Jeudy needs benched after that catastrophe. Hopefully after this W, he gets his mindset right. Myles Garrett is an animal. Maybe after another week, we see even more play on offense. 24 points. Who would have thought? Go Browns. See y'all next week. Woof, woof.
Love it.
Let me see some things in the chat while you're loading up I don't understand. There's a ton of talk tonight about Kevin being fired after a win. I don't understand. I don't understand that. Like, we won, guys. Can we save that for the weeks we lose?
I mean, now save those conversations for Wednesday if he comes out and says Dylan Gabriel's been cleared and he's going to be our starter Sunday.
Yes, that will. I was, after the Jets lost, he could have fired everybody, and I'm still just kind of like probably whatever, but I don't know. I thought we played really tough last week against the Ravens, a Raven team that's on fire. And then obviously we came out and we played really tough again today and got a win. Like, the locker room could have been fractured after that Jets game. It could have went real south. In the last 2 weeks, even with a loss in a 1-1 record, I've been really impressed, honestly, with the Browns the last 2 weeks, considering talent we have on the football field on the offensive side. So I don't know. I'm not backtracking all the way. Like, if they move on, I guess I'll be excited for who we bring in next, but I'm definitely not talking about that after we won. And I thought we definitely looked like the better coached football team today of the 2 teams on the field.
Oh yeah. If any coach from today's game is getting fired after the season, Pete Carroll, your career is over.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. The Raiders traded for Geno Smith to get him back with Pete Carroll, gave him that extension, like a 3-year big money extension right off the rip. And this is what they get out of it. Like, they've made some bad decisions.
Well, and I love Chip Kelly as a play caller at Ohio State, but he's never been good in the NFL.
Sucks in the NFL.
Sucks. So to bring, they can't get Jeudy the ball. Now, part of the problem is we think our offensive line is bad. Their offensive line is awful. He gets hit a yard behind the line of scrimmage almost every single play. But they have Jeudy, they have Brock Bowers, they have even Michael Mayers as a good tight end. They had Jacoby Myers, had to trade him because he wanted to get out of there. They have some players. To be this bad is just, I don't understand how they're this bad. Like, they have some guys. I'm not saying they should be like a Super Bowl contender, but like Trey Tucker's nice. I mean, they got guys on their team that should be better than this. They're awful.
They're terrible. Next one here is from Michael.
Hey, y'all, it's Mick from San Diego.
Or Mick.
Browns get a W with Sanders starting, and surprise, surprise, he looked good. So all these naysayers, everyone that's been talking smack about him, you just got to give the guy some time. He looked a lot more comfortable in there. He only had 1 sack. Yes, he had one terrible throw, and that one terrible throw led to an interception. But I think that's just experience at this point. He didn't see the linebacker, assumed he was going out in the flat, and then he kind of just sat back and, yeah, there's a pick. 50-yard pass in the air. Never would have seen that with Gabriel. A 62-yard touchdown on a successful screen. Never would have seen that with Gabriel. Jeudy. I don't know why you're hop, skipping, and a jumping. Just catch the ball, run, get some yards, get down. That would have been probably another couple points, but wanted to play cute and fumbled the ball. Ruined another Sanders drive. Judkins, 2 early touchdowns. That's great to see. Not really pleased with our first down plays. We need to get that tightened up. Not too sure about all the Wildcats, especially when we're about 50, 60 yards away from the end zone. But hey, got to do what we got to do. And then we got to figure out the illegal shifts. But the defense traveled today. 10 sacks. Unreal. Thanks to them, I got 40 points in fantasy. So hopefully we can play that
That's crazy.
well for the remainder of the season. Really excited. This gives me hope for next season so we don't have to draft another quarterback. Maybe get some wide receivers and beef up our offensive line. Go Browns. Ooh.
You made a good point there. I was bitching and moaning a lot in the Discord today about us being constantly in second and third and long. We got a rookie quarterback in his first start trying to help him out, and we can't get any push on first down. We run with Judkins, boom.
We got to throw the ball on first down more often. Because it's almost like you can book it. We're going to do a first down run every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we've done it so often. A play action, we'd probably have 5 wide receivers wide open.
I feel like we did some good play action today too, though, with Shedeur, which I thought was good. It was good play design.
A couple comments I wanted to get to here. Megan said something. They want him fired due to the 4th and 3 on the 29-yard line, up 14-3 and punted. If you're going to use that to justify a guy being fired, we were up 24-10, and there was like a minute and a half to go in the game. So even though I would have kicked a field goal, like the game was over, especially if we punt it to the 10. And so if you're going to use that to criticize somebody, maybe be correct in your facts.
You made a good point. I mean, we're very well known for, we could kick a field goal and then kick it off and they could run it right back.
Yes. Like you put your best unit out there, a unit that had 10 sacks or 9 sacks at the time. You know, so, and then somebody said they wanted to know what we thought of Harold Fannin. We love him. We love one before we even drafted him. We want him. Harold Fannon's played at a high school 25 minutes from my house. Local kid to the show. So like we've been huge fans of Fannin his entire senior year at Bowling Green when he started kind of getting the buzz, and then in the pre-draft process, like we all wanted Harold Fannin. He's been the sky's the limit. This kid's young. He only played tight end for 1 full season in college, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, sky's the limit for this guy. We're huge Harold Fannin. You can throw him. It can be 3rd and 80, and you could throw him a 4-yard slant, and he's going to somehow get you the first down. It's like he never doesn't get first downs.
He's the youngest player on the field every game that he plays because he just turned 21. So he is the youngest player on the field, but he is more manly than anybody else on the field at any given time. The dude is a beast. Yes, love Harold Fannin. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will the Browns win their game this week? Will Quinshon Judkins score a touchdown? Will Carson Schlesinger win Defensive Rookie of the Year? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, all you have to do is sign up at kalshi.com/dogs. That's KALSHI.com/dogs SHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trade $100. Get away from disadvantageous sportsbooks and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to Kalshi.com/dogs or click the link in the description to get $20 when you trade $100 with Kalshi. Because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?
All right, that was all my chats. Do we have more voicemails?
Yeah, this one's from Brad. Let's see what song he sings today.
Shedeur, you can be my hero, baby. Can you wipe away these miserable tears? You might be able to take my pain away. Hopefully, we shall see. Well, we won. We didn't lose to the Raiders. So, we're better than the Raiders. So that's a thing. That's a thing. Shedeur looked pretty good today. Threw one interception, whatever, happens. But he looked pretty poised in the pocket. I don't think he fell backwards once, I think. But most of the time he was stepping up in the pocket, getting the ball out quicker. Had some really nice throws. Actually knew how to throw most of the screen passes, unlike Dylan that overthrows guys. I saw more in one game from him of promise and a spark than I did seeing Dylan in all the games. So defense, lights out, most amazing defense. Myles Garrett, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt, getting defensive player of the year. And it's a great game. Finally got a win after so long. Let's go, guys. I'm pumped. Finally a win. Let's go, Browns.
By far, my favorite comment so far in this entire chat after that voicemail was just Andrew Jackson saying, Jesus, Brad. I just kept glancing down at it and laughing. Jesus, Brad. Super funny.
This is the benefit of being in the dog pack, everybody. If you're not these guys and gals in there, it is a good time. These are some awesome people.
Oh, man, that was good. No, like he said, it wasn't even a perfect game from Shedeur. Barely 50% completion percentage, 209 yards. I don't know if anybody notices this, but guys aren't throwing for a boatload of yards anymore, the way defenses are playing people. So, but he had 209 yards and a touchdown. Like he said, he just showed spark. He made some plays. He stayed in the pocket. I just didn't want to see him running around taking hits. He ran around maybe once or twice, but he picked his spots. It was a guy he could get away from. He ran around a little bit and then either threw a pass where only our guy could get it or he threw it away. It wasn't like every single time there was pressure, he was just trying to bail out and make a play. He was living to see another day. Like I said earlier, I thought this is about as good of a first start as I could hope for in terms of being on the road and playing behind our offensive line and having our receivers.
If you guys think about it, 209 yards on 20 attempts, that's almost 10 and a half yards an attempt. And then for 11 completions, that's 19 yards a completion. Those are great numbers, actually. To put up those kind of yards for as few of attempts and completions as he had. Dylan Gabriel had a game with 52 pass attempts and only cracked what did he have, 220 or something?
Yeah.
Terrible. Did you throw up in your mouth a little bit?
Yes. Do we have another voicemail or was Brad's the last one?
Nope, got a couple more. This one's from Devontae.
Hey everybody, it's Devontae here. So as we all just saw, we are all very happy for Shedeur. Now, two things. What in the world was Kevin looking at that made him say Dilla was better than Shedeur? Because what we saw, the offense, yes, it is still horrible, but they had a different tempo. The defense continuously played. Granted, the Raiders are probably just as bad as us, but nonetheless. Secondly, there's 2 game films, 1 full game and a half. Let's see how Shedeur is next week. I don't know who they play next week. Don't know the schedule offhand. But let's continue to build. And I finally saw that speed from Samson. And I think as he hit that second gear, he was finally like, oh man, this is what I was waiting for. So we got the win, put the wrists up. Here we go, Brownies. Let's celebrate. Let's have a victory Monday. Hey, and real quick, anybody out there struggling this holiday season, please reach out to your people. Check on your people. Love each other. Go Brownies. Happy Thanksgiving.
Very good stuff. Hey, I just wanted to mention too, Dylan Sampson now has the first career touchdown reception for both Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
Huh. That'll be a Jeopardy question in 10 years. No, it was great to see Dylan be involved a little bit today, get the ball in some space, not, just having to make 10 guys miss behind the line of scrimmage. So when he talks about what did he see from Dylan that he thought he was better than Shedeur, I guess I would pose that question in terms of like the pre-draft process. Once they were drafted, you just knew that Dylan was, we talked about it all offseason, Dylan was going to get the opportunity first, and he was going to get every chance to be the guy until he wasn't the guy. Please God, I hope today was the day we found out he's not the guy. And like I said, I really think if you went back to Dylan, imagine if you go back to Dylan, you're going to lose the locker room. But if you go back to Dylan and we lose next week and the offense puts up 10 points, I honestly, God, I don't know if Kevin survives that. If he goes back to Dylan and the offense is putrid next week and we lose at home, it might be Bottlegate 2.0. He might get fired. If we just give up and we get dog walked, we lose 30-3 to the Niners at home, and Dylan looks anemic like we know he will, he might get fired. Like this is maybe the biggest decision of Kevin's coaching career right now, what he's going to do at quarterback. I like to think it's already been decided. He's just being coy for the media. You probably, like, if you're going to make a change at quarterback, you're probably going to talk to Dylan first, talk to both your guys. I think that's the correct way to handle it. You don't want to tell a guy he lost his job in the media. You want to tell him like a man to his face. So, but I'd like to think that the decision's made. And so, but we'll see.
I think it's I'll be very interested to see how things play out with him, Kevin, and Andrew Berry, because it seems like Andrew Berry, he was the one who probably had the say on, we're taking Shedeur here in the 5th round, and probably said, Kevin, well, you can pick your quarterback. And Kevin said, I want Dylan Gabriel. And Andrew Berry's probably like, sure? Are you really? We're going to pass on Shedeur. Okay, so we keep passing on Shedeur. We already got Dylan Gabriel. And then at some point there in the 5th, it's like, screw it. He's still here. I'm getting him. And now Kevin's going to have to just own up and admit that, okay, the guy I wanted, the guy that I said let's take, wasn't the right guy.
Yeah, mistakes happen. Just don't double down on it.
Yes, please don't double down. That's the biggest thing.
Yes, you took the guy, you liked him, you thought he could be it. He's clearly not. Okay, we're done. We're on to the next guy.
Yep.
What gets people fired is when you double down on your mistake. And stupid. Just go. You got Shedeur now. Just go. Let him build.
Yeah. A couple left here. This one's from Kia.
Hey guys, Blake Joss, love the podcast. Showing love all the way from the Bahamas. I just want to say 12 is that guy. After he threw that 50-yard bomb down the field to Isaiah Bond, he's the starter. I don't want to see Dylan anymore. Watch that entire game. Watch Dylan's other games before this. I don't want to see them play anymore. It's only 12 up from him. That's it. I only want to see bombs. I don't want to see no checkdowns. And yeah, I hope everyone is happy with this game. I'm certainly happy. I got to see what I wanted to see, and it's only more from here, from the other games. So yeah, go Brownies.
Awesome.
First of all, first caller from the Bahamas, I think, in the history of the show. So thank you. And 2, I want to ask her if we can get permission to put "I only want to see bombs" on a T-shirt. That was I only want to see bombs. That's what I want to get that on a T-shirt. So thank you for the call. That was awesome.
That was awesome. All right, I guess 2 more to load up here. We have Austin sent in 2 voicemails. One was 3 hours ago. One was 1. So I'm guessing this one was during the game. Let it load here. Okay, here we go.
Hey, fellas. So, it's Austin again. I'd called in at halftime, and I said,
this is the second one.
I called in again, and nothing really changed for me. I mean, how can anybody really sit there and say, hey, after watching Shedeur and watching this offense do what they did today, and granted, it wasn't like any kind of Herculean effort from anybody, but compared to what this offense looks like with Dylan, there's no way that you can trot Dylan Gabriel back out there after this performance by the offense. Yeah, it was 24 points, and they had benefited from a couple short fields and stuff like that, and I get it. But if the whole point is figuring out what we have in these two before this coming draft, when you have 2 first-round picks, and you have to decide whether it's these guys or it's Dylan Sampson or I'm sorry, Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, you have to keep giving it to Shedeur to see what you have. And after today, we definitely have more in him than we do Dylan Gabriel. Look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Sorry, Austin, I totally skipped over. I thought I had your first one loaded up. I did not, but appreciate the voicemail.
No, I agree. I don't understand how you could go back to him. You have to know what you have to let Shedeur play. He did well enough to make you go, okay, he has to play again. To see if we have to take a quarterback next year. We're gonna have more than likely a top 3 pick, definitely a top 5 pick. We have to know if we need to draft a quarterback. And today, I think at least showed you enough. It'd be great to have your starting quarterback be a 5th round rookie, getting paid 5th round rookie money, while you can build up the team around him. Like that's the ideal situation. So, and the way it opens the window back up. So it would just be stupid to go back.
And we'll obviously do all the draft season stuff after the NFL season is over and all that. We do a ton of that. So if you're new to the show, stay tuned. We never stop doing the podcast. There's going to be so much draft stuff. But just looking at the college football landscape, and that was the last voicemail there, so we can wrap it up here in a little bit. But say we pick 5. The teams ahead of us need quarterbacks, and there's only going to be a couple really worth taking, in my opinion,
outside
in
of
that top 5. What's that?
Outside of the Titans.
Right, outside of the well, I'm just I know what you mean. But the Saints we'll probably pick after the Saints, we'll probably pick after the Jets, we'll probably pick after the Raiders.
How did Shuck do today?
That's a good point. I didn't see that game.
I'll check.
But either way, I'm not pining over any of these rookie quarterbacks that we just absolutely need to get a guy in here from this class. And there's a very real possibility, and I don't know, maybe people will agree or disagree with me on this, that when we look at the 2026 quarterback class as a whole, when it's all said and done, whenever we get to the draft and these are the guys that are available, the guys who have declared and all that stuff, that Shedeur Sanders might very well be in the conversation as right in the mix with those guys had he been in this class. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Shuck today was 30 of 43 for 243 and a pick, no touchdowns, sacked 5 times. They might, depending on how he finishes, he was pretty good yet last week or the week before, and not atrocious today. Maybe they don't roll with a quarterback, but I agree. Honestly, I was kind of high on the Alabama quarterback. The last couple of weeks, he has not been that good.
They played an FCS team yesterday, and he sucked.
Yes, that was discouraging. Early honestly, up until a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this dude makes throws. Some of these throws I've seen him make are just crazy. But the last 2 weeks have not been great. But his stock's taking a little bit of a hit. If
you use those 2 first-round picks and go get 2 first-round wide receivers, and then you add an offensive tackle with that high 2nd-round pick, and then you've got a high 3rd-round pick, right, that you can use on whatever else on offense, a guard or another offensive lineman. And you bring in here Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy as your wide receiver 4, but you got 2 first-round receivers with a 2nd-year Harold Fannin. You got Njoku under contract again. Now, all of a sudden, Shedeur's got stuff to play with.
I totally. That's why you got to play him.
Yeah,
I agree. You got to find out if he can play. And today, everything I saw today told me he's at least worth looking into the rest of the season. That's who I wanted him to draft anyways. And then he came out and he played pretty well. I'll say this. Were you surprised? And they mentioned this on the broadcast a lot too. Were you surprised at how little they blitzed him?
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't do what the Ravens were doing in the second half last week.
Which was just like, I mean, they blitzed like 60% of the time against him last week. I was a little bit shocked by that. I would expect the Niners next week to really come after him more. Like, I think Robert Saleh's back there. I don't know if he's their full-time. Is he their full-time?
I think he's their DC, but I have heard people talking about the 49ers, and maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn they have one of the worst pass rush units right now in the NFL this season.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I was surprised they didn't blitz more, but I just want to put it out there though, like as optimistic as we are about this, just know like he is a rookie, and like next week maybe won't look as good. Like if they blitz it, I want to see now how is he going to do with, maybe he had a little bit of success. How's he going to do when maybe things aren't going so well for him if they're blitzing? But he clearly showed enough that they got to move off of Dillon. I had a comment in here I wanted to talk about, and I can't find it now. Oh, you were talking about drafting linemen. It's not ideal, but I think Joel Bitonio, I feel like, is probably going to retire. Unless Shedeur like really goes off these last 6 games and like he really thinks like we have a chance next year to compete for a playoff spot. But say he doesn't retire, I think you could get away with bringing back Joel, Posick, and Teller, as much as like it's not ideal, but you got to bring in 2 starting tackles. The offensive line would look so much better if we just had good offensive tackles.
I think they could roll with Luke Whippler at center. I don't think you'd have to bring back Posick. I've heard enough people talk about Posick. Yeah.
Because Whippler never plays.
Right.
You know, maybe we can bring back Bill Callahan.
Maybe.
So, but no, if worst case scenario, like a lot of people are just pounding the drum for receiver and tackle first 2 picks next year. I'm probably doubling up on receiver. I mean, I'm also hearing like that the tackle class is not a very good tackle class. Like
I've heard that too.
No first round tackles really. I'm not taking a tackle. I'm getting I'm getting athletes to put around hopefully our young quarterback.
If you could get Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson and like Chris Bell or some of these guys that are already being projected as first round picks, and you pretty much know they're gonna be, that would do worlds for this offense. I mean, we just don't have talent. We have no skill. The Jerry Jeudy play, he got 1 pass today for 39 yards. It was because it was a great developing play, patient throw by Shedeur Sanders to wait for him to get wide open. It wasn't even like it was a contested catch or anything. And then he fumbles the ball. We need some real players.
Yes. Like I need water. Like I need oxygen. Just, yes, we have to. So I want Carnell Tate so bad.
Me too.
I want him so bad.
And the thing with Carnell Tate that would be good for Shedeur, he likes to take those deep shots. Carnell Tate is an excellent deep target contested catch receiver. He's I think 12 of 13, 90-something% on his contested catch rate this year in college. Like the dude goes up and he comes down with that ball.
Somebody said take a top linebacker, and linebacker has to be a typo.
Yeah, I think they probably meant lineman.
I hope so. You can't take a linebacker in the first round.
We don't need linebackers anymore. We are good there.
Yes, we're if JOK comes back, we're borderline loaded.
This year I will be pissed if we take a defensive player in the first 100 picks. Don't do it. Don't need it. Don't do it.
So, well, that's all the voicemails. I feel good about everything we covered. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we wrap this thing up?
No, I just appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody tuning into these live shows. I mean, you guys make the post-game reaction shows so much more fun. The chat's just scrolling nonstop. It's hard to even find what we're looking for in there half the time. I mean, this is the biggest show we've ever done live. We had, almost 1,500 concurrent viewers at one point, I think. That's insane. You guys are the best.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate all the support. Doesn't matter if it's only because Shedeur's here or not. There's a lot of Browns content out there talking about Shedeur right now, I bet. You guys stopped in here. So we appreciate all the support we're getting. While you're still here, remember, it's November. Go donate to Kenny Mack's Movember campaign. Help him reach his goal. jointhedogs.com, become a dog pack member, talk with a lot of these people all week. And if you want to get a voicemail on the show next week, head to thedogspodcast.com. Just tap leave voicemail on the drop down menu. Once again, thank you guys so much for the support. Like Josh said, biggest live show we've ever done by a pretty significant margin. We appreciate you guys being here and supporting the show. So thank you, and we will see you guys later this week when we preview the 49ers matchup.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.